Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 18 of the IFL F3 Season 2 Championship. 18 weeks of racing have led up to this point, and today everything is on the line. We have got three constructors up for the top spot in this race today. The driver standings was sealed at Circuit du Spa by Caitlin Height with an amazing performance and an amazing season. So congratulations to the IFL 3 champion, Caitlin Height. But we go into round 18, the German Grand Prix at Hockenheimring, to decide the Constructors Championship, in which we have RSR eMotorsports, Kuda Works eMotorsports, and Lumos eMotorsports all up for grabs for that top spot. So let's get down to the track and see what the weather is like in Germany. "66 degrees Fahrenheit outside with a 66-degree track temperature, so it's very cool. It's going to be very grippy, but it is humidity is 92%, and it looks like there's quite a bit of wind out on the racetrack this afternoon. So it may get a little bit dicey out there. It may be a little bit of effective on this car. They're super high downforce cars, so it could be a factor with this big wind. But the cool grip is definitely gonna help with keeping traction on the racetrack. If we get a safety car or two, it may cause some problems getting the tires iced over, because these cars really have an issue with cold tires. So the cooler track temperature will cool the tires down faster under a safety car. So we will have to watch out for that this afternoon. But with that being said, we are going to take a look at the Drivers' Championship going up into this race. Caitlin Height taking and sealing the top spot with almost 100 points over Matt Turner. Matt Turner drove like crazy, had some great weeks, won 3 races in a row, really drove hard to try to knock Caitlin from that top spot, but she just put on too much of a consistent performance this year. Christiana Schegetman right there with a chance to possibly take the third position or the second position away from Matt Turner. So we'll have to keep an eye on if he gets close enough to be able to do that. Matt Turner would have to score absolutely no points, and Schegetman would have to win the race and get a couple extra points here to even really get there. But it is possible. 24 points currently separates them, so if Turner doesn't score any points and Sheg gets all of them, he could possibly take that second spot away from him. Other than that, it's very, very close between 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and on down. Very, very, very close between a lot of these drivers. So definitely a lot on the line for all the drivers coming up in this race. Just a few points here and there. That's a position here or there on the racetrack. So we will have to keep an eye out on who's doing what. We're currently in practice with 55 minutes left to go, and we'll get to the track here a moment and see what Christiana Schegetman, who is at the top of the leaderboards, is up to. Not on the top of the leaderboard by too much. Caitlin Height only 1/100th of a second off Schegetman's pace, so she's right there with him, keeping it up. Frederick Larson is currently in 3rd place, a new driver to the league here, and Julie Redmond with the Kuda Evo team is currently 4th with Stelflug in the Kuda Works cars. He's going to be the first one up there in 5th position. Matt Turner, his teammate, in 7th. Those two battling hard for a spot on the top of the constructors podium. So let's see how that goes. We know we got Alex Gutenek in the 10th spot. He is one of the Lumos drivers here today. And I'm wondering if it might be Weston Epps, but I'm not exactly sure who the other Lumos driver is today trying to score points for him, but it's those two teams versus this driver right here, the number 55, the Season 2 champ, still trying to hold on to the Constructor's title that she's got a grasp on to. Looking very, very fast today, chasing a Lumos driver down right there. So only 3 more minutes left of practice, and then we've got a 25-minute qualifying session. And in that session, with a minute and 30 second lap times, we will probably see 2 good runs with getting the tires warm. We may see people try to push 3. But I think within a 25-minute qualifying session, that's going to be quite a bit. So expect to see some times jump up around lap 5, lap 6, and or about minute 5, minute 6, and then maybe about 16, 17, we should see some more pop in. We'll keep an eye on it, but these drivers really know how to put it down as Caitlin Height takes the top spot on the board from Christiana Schegetman with just a couple minutes left to go, just by 0.02 of a second. So not bad for Caitlin Height. We'll take a quick look here at the Constructor Standings for round 17. Now, as we'll show you here in just a second, RSR Esports and Caitlin Height are they're in a really decent spot, as long as she can perform like she has, but at the same time, we'll take a look here. We've got 3 different teams competing for the top spot, and we know the Turning Point drivers, they really they're not in it for the constructors, really. They can't make it too much there. They might be able to jump Lumos, but they can't take that top spot. So they're still fighting. They're still fast. So we can still see them interrupt and take some points away. But between the top 5 teams, that's 10 people. That's the top points. Well, 10th place only gets 1 point. So it's going to be a real fight between the teams today to decide who finishes where after our full 18 race season. And currently, I don't think there's anybody more hungry than Caitlin Height in RSR Esports, trying to sweep both the constructors and the drivers this year. So there's rumors that Caitlin Height will be going to F2 next season, but we will see what happens when it comes to that. That's just about ready to do it for our practice session. Caitlin Height on the top spot, Christiana Schegetman coming in second, and Frederick Rollerson, a new driver out here in the 22 machine, gonna take our 3rd position in practice. That may throw some wrenches into things. We'll see how he does in qualifying. But that's where we're going to go right now. 25 minutes. See everybody popping out. It's going to be a very, very, very fast lap here for these guys. Lots of quick corners, not too many places to pass. But if people really want to get risky, there's a couple places you could really throw it in there. So we'll have to see if anybody gets that crazy tonight. I don't necessarily foresee it. We already got one driver looping it around on the cold tires. It does tend to happen. Everybody popping in. It looks like we've got a fairly large field. Looks like over 22 drivers or so, possibly. So, going to be a large field for our season finale of the F3. Taking a quick look here at Julie Redmond. She was fairly fast in practice, fairly fast in the 5 or 6 races she's been here with the IFL. One more race to prove what she's got before we go on to next season. Going to be staying in the CUDA garage, but moving up to a CUDA work seat as we see Matt Turner there in front. Going to be moving up to the F2, so Julie Redmond moving up to the CUDA work seat for next season. She's pretty excited for that, but she really wants to put a podium under her belt with the CUDA Evo car before she gets out of here. And Hockenheim is going to be the place to do it if she's going to get it done. A lot of drivers getting ready to start their first lap. And Matt Turner, Julie Redmond, Schegetman, and Stelflug all going to be on flying laps. So here we go. Qualifying is underway for the German Grand Prix. In 23 minutes, we will see who our pole sitter is, and Alex Gutenek already having a purple first sector. I'm sure we'll be seeing a bunch of those popping up here in the next few minutes. As the times start to pour in, Turner, Height, and Redmond up on top of the charts. Only 7 drivers so far to put a lap. Over 15 on the racetrack at the moment. Remember, in these qualifying laps, any off-track incidents you get is going to neglect your lap, whether you go just a little bit too far past a white line, or you just barely touch the grass, or something like that. You overshoot a corner just a little bit and you get an off-track, it will neglect your lap. So as you see, Caitlin Height's got 3 purple sectors at the moment, putting down a bad fast lap. you see something like that, sometimes it can mislead you because they may have had an off track or something. So you got to keep an eye on it sometimes, and they really gotta watch what they're doing to make sure that they don't cause any problems and they can get themselves a good spot on the board. We're taking a look here now at Rodrigo Miranda, one of the Turning Point sister teams. Put on a great showing, took home 1 victory in his first race here in the IFL. It's been smooth sailing ever since. Currently 11th on the chart as the times just start rolling in. 12 drivers with times on the board after 6 minutes. Seeing lots of smoke, and we're seeing lots of drivers spinning out and really pushing the limits. So hopefully that's not a thing to come for the race. I'd like to see this thing go green the entire way. But just shows you how with the cold that you just are able to push your car so much, and these cars don't like to be over pushed, because when they do, they just kind of snap around, and that's what the F3 car does. As Caitlin Height re-snatches the lead from Weston Epps. Turner jumping up to second position, only 1/100th of a second behind Height, so sticking right with Height's pace at the moment. Taking a look here at Weston Epps, one of the Lumos drivers, trying to put in for a good finish for the Constructor Standings, getting ready to come around the final corners to take another flying lap. Let's see if we can't take a ride alongside and see a lap around Hockenheim. Looks like he's actually going to pull off, so we will find someone else to go on a ride along with. Frederick Larson goes to P2 in the number 22. Just barely faster than Matt Turner. Matthew Stelflug had taken a couple weeks off racing to do some real racing stuff. He's back here for round 18. A lot of drivers here. Some pressure going to be put on him to be able to finish up in the top spot. But since he's now coming around towards the back, let's take a ride with him as he's going to take another flying lap coming up. He's got 1 green sector up at the first sector. And we are just having issues with finding someone who's going to be taking a flying lap. So let's check out what's going on. A little bit of the midfield. Very, very, very close. 32-second bracket all the way down to P10. And the 31-second bracket's at P5. So we're going to have a couple distinct groups on the racetrack, as you see up in the track map up on the top right. A couple distinct packs running with each other that just kind of formed up coming out of the pits. So we should see that during the race after all this qualifying is said and done. If few drivers still out on track. So far, 16 drivers putting in a time. And I'm seeing possibly 26, 28 drivers registered. So definitely going to be a big field to start the race weekend with. But here's a man we know we got some speed with. Alex Gutenet going to be coming around. Let's take, and he's hitting pit road, so we'll take a quick look at pit road. It's real tight. You can probably gain a lot of time here. You just got to watch it under caution flag. You don't want to pass the car in front of you. It'll get you a big penalty and cause you some problems. Caitlin Height still on top of the board, and she is wrecking across the front stretch at the moment. So not exactly sure what happened there. 17 drivers now with one on. Julie Redmond cooling the tires down, getting ready for another run. And Frederick Larson still up in P2. So definitely someone new to the F3 series for the last race of the season. Gonna put a little wrench into things. Drivers gonna have to adapt on the fly and overcome what's going on in the league, which is growing bigger and bigger. We got season 3 starting in February, and what a season it's gonna be. I believe we're going to have full fields for all of our races, both our F2 and F3 divisions. Some great teams have formed and friendships have been made, and it's become something pretty awesome. And season 3 is only going to be 10 times more amazing than what we've seen this year in season 2. And the competition is only growing as we see Larson still up there, not able to top Caitlin Height's time just yet. Still 0.168 seconds behind, so 1/10 of a second behind Caitlin Height there. Pretty amazing time she put down, 1:31.621. About halfway through qualifying at this moment. And the two Kudu Works drivers have got themselves up to 3rd and 4th position. So they definitely have the pace to get it done today. Right behind them is the Lumos drivers, currently 1 point behind the Works drivers in the Constructors Championship. So the battle between the Works drivers and the Lumos drivers is going to be very, very intense today. As you see, they're very close in times on the board, and they're very close in points in the standings. So we'll keep an eye on those 4 drivers as the race goes on. And you see right behind them all, the Kudu Evo driver, Julie Redmond. So a very, very stacked front half of the field. Schegeman's currently down in P10 at the moment. And we now have 21 drivers that have got a lap time in. We're halfway through the series. Just 11 minutes left to go in qualifying. Caitlin Height out front. Frederick Larson in 2nd. Matt Turner in 3rd. Matthew Stalflug in 4th. And Weston Epps. And the Lumos cars got P5 on the grid as it stands at the moment. Joe Watts comes in P7 real quick there, 132.183. Very nice lap for Watts. That's going to knock Redmond down to 9th. Redmond down to 8th, Boggs to 9th, and Ali Ricks to 10th, knocking Schegeman out of the top 10 in this qualifying session. Christiana Schegeman's going to be needing to put a pretty good lap down or he's going to be starting in the middle of the field for this race. A little bit of a battle going on, or courtesy possibly, as Joe Watts is trying to now get a slipstream from the driver in front and maybe increase his time for the next lap. And Schegetman goes to the top of the board, as I said that, with a 1:31.403, 0.2 faster than Caitlin Height. What a lap for Schegetman. Like I said earlier, we should start to see a second round of qualifying coming out on the track. Almost everybody on the track at the moment. There we go. Let's see if we can't get a lap with Caitlin Height. Very smooth inputs for Height as she makes her way around the course, halfway through, looking fairly decent. Car looks like it has a lot of speed in it today, and she's a very consistent, smooth driver, so look to see her possibly pull away if these guys get to fighting behind her. But yeah, currently still in the orange, so the track not too optimal at the moment. I mean, Cristiano Schegetman did just put a lap down a few moments ago, but there is a lap at Hockenheimring with Caitlin Height, your F3 champion this season. As we take a look, we'll take a look at our blimp cam here and see if we can't just catch some of our drivers out here. Such a magnificent facility here, Hockenheimring. Some great battles are going to happen here today. It looks like 23 drivers currently have set a pace down. And Danny O'Keefe currently in 11th there, setting some pretty awesome sectors, all green, and he goes off track. Not gonna help him there, as he looked like he had such a nice lap going for himself. And with 19 minutes and 30 seconds in, we have only got 5.5 minutes left in qualifying before the checkered flag comes out. Caitlin Height still out there trying to crush that pole, and Matthew Stelflug has got his Cuda Works car up into third position at the moment. Great qualifying effort for Stelflug. Julie Redmond had some green sectors. Looks like she possibly may have had an off track. And Walker moves up to 10th with a very nice lap. And Cristiano Schegeman's got a purple final sector. Is he going to make his time even faster? Don't think so. But still putting on a show. Is Cristiano Schegeman, he really wants to pull here for the German Grand Prix. That way he can try to run away with it. Caitlin Height will be hot on his heels, trying to score them 25 points for winning the race to seal the deal as the Constructors champion. She's going to have a really rough race for some of these guys to knock RSR Esports off the top of the Constructor Standings, but it is still probable and possible to get done with two different teams all chasing down one car. It could get really intense and really hairy, so we'll keep an eye. It looks like Weston Epps and Caitlin Height takes the place back with a 131.398, only 5/1000ths of a second faster than Cristiano Schegeman. What a lap by Caitlin Height! And with 3 minutes left to go, I don't know if Schegeman can top that or match that pace. Still all orange for Schegeman. What a lap for Caitlin Height. Only 3 minutes left to go in qualifying. Few drivers getting on their outlaps. Weston S., Anthony Wallace, Curtis Martin coming out, Eric Beddoes coming out. So a few drivers, Alex Gutenek coming out. Looks like we're going to have one more wave trying to get a lap in. Maybe some colder tires, but we'll see. A last-ditch effort to try to get max grip possible out of this track. Matt Turner up to 5th place. Both Kuda Works drivers in the top 5. That's exactly what they need for the start of this race. Danny O'Keefe moves up to 8th position with a 132.032. So the last driver, or the first driver into the in 32s, just barely scraping the edge of the 31-second bracket. And as you see, Matt Turner practicing the entrance of pit road. Going to be very vital today. Pit stops and strategy. Last race to make it all happen. .24 drivers now having set a lap time. Caitlin Height still on the provisional pole. And now in the last minute, you see Alex Gutenek and Weston Epps working together, using the slipstream. Oh, they lose it and tangle it with each other. That's not going to help. Not going to be able to do anything with that lap. Tough break for the Lumos drivers. Going to be, looks like they're starting about 7th and 10th if the grid stays the way it is. Cristiano Schegeman out on track trying to get every little bit he can. And still all orange sectors, not able to go as fast as he was, even with the shade on the racetrack. Only 10 seconds left to go. He gets really loose coming out of the last turn. Not gonna be able to do it. So tough break for Schegeman, as he's going to be starting on the outside pole for the German Grand Prix, as I don't see any other drivers standing out with some major pace to take over that top spot from Caitlin Height. Time's just going to tick away now. Everybody allowed to finish their last lap as we see a driver, looks like it might have been Eric Beddoes there, spin out on his final lap. Stelflug trying to see if he can top Cristiano Schegemann. He has to pick up 4/10. I really don't think it's really going to be too possible under the track conditions at the moment. But we're going to have a 5-minute warm-up session just before we go racing right after this qualifying. We'll take a look at the points one more time as we go into this race. Cristiano Schegemann taking a practice pit entry. And we're not going to see Selflug do that as he's got all orange sectors. He's not going to pick up his time at all. He's going to end it out with a 1:31.781. Third quickest out of the 25 drivers registered this afternoon for the IFL. And he is our last driver on the racetrack. So there you have it, folks. Qualifying in the books here at Hockenheimring. Caitlin Height on top of the board. Cristiano Schegemann lining up on the outside of the front row. Matthew Stelflug in third. Frederick Larson in fourth. And Matt Turner going to be taking the top 5 as we bring up let's see, having some technical difficulties here. There we go. Your qualifying grid for today's running event. Caitlin Height, Cristiano Schegemann on the front row, Matthew Stelflug and Frederick Larson heading up that second row. And then you see Matt Turner and Julie Redmond, 5th and 6th. Those two drivers very, very quick and ready to pounce at any moment. Weston Epps, the first Lumos driver in the mix with Brandon Walker, the other Cootie Evo Motorsports driver there in P8. So Weston Epps has got a lot of Cootie drivers to get through to get to the front of the field. And then he's also got Alex Gutenegger right behind him, 2 places behind him on the grid. So that's your top 10. Everybody there for the championship and the Constructors Championship in the top 10 of your grid today, all within 0.7 of a second of each other. So we're definitely going to see a good battle up front. And we are doing 36, I believe, or 34 laps tonight. Here, 34 laps, the distance. So going to be a fairly long race. 1 pit stop needs to be done. And it has to be for tires. You got to take 1 set of tires. So someone is going to end up on cold tires eventually. As there you see a little bit more of our grid. Anthony Wallace in 11th, Joe Watts in 12th, Luke Smith in 13th, Buddy Boggs in 14th, Ollie Ricks in 15th. And with that, we've got 2 minutes into the warm-up. And we will be racing in just a moment, so don't go away. We will be right back. seconds left to go before we go racing. Let's remind you one more time of the Constructor Standings into round number 18, the final round of the Season 2 F3 Championship. RSR Esports, Kuda Works, and Lumos Academy all have it up for grabs, and that's going to end the warm-up, and we're going to get ready to go racing. "25 drivers scheduled to roll off the grid tonight here in the F3 division. Caitlin Height taking the pole. And what a grid we're going to have this afternoon. And almost all the drivers are on the grid. So close to the start of the final race of the F3 Championship. And I believe that's the final driver on the grid. And there it is. Here come the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights out, and we're racing here in Germany. Caitlin Height gets a great start. Cristiano Schegemann moves in right beside, but there comes Matthew Stoutflug onto the outside. Matt Turner gonna run in beside. And I believe we almost make it all the way through. No, there's a big problem in the back. Big problem way in the back of the track. Looks like it's mostly clear back there. And Matthew Stoutflug has a great run up into third. And we got a battle for the lead as Caitlin Height and Cristiano Schegemann go side by side. Height takes a defensive line, 3 wide behind between the Lumos and the Kuda Works drivers. Everybody in the top 10 making its way through smooth. Big snake of drivers as Caitlin Height still under pressure from Cristiano Schegemann. Schegemann gets a little bit loose. Height gets a great exit. Matthew Stoutflug on his way, and Cristiano Schegemann spins out. He goes off track. Matthew Stoutflug moves up to second. What a crazy turn of events. Cristiano Schegemann slides off the track. Now he's showed down in 16th position as Caitlin Height starts to run away. Behind battle's starting to heat up. And it looks like we gotta get another car off the track way in the back. Didn't see exactly who that was. But Alex Gutneck all over Matt Turner. And he's gonna make the move. Matt Turner's gonna battle back hard on the outside. He's gonna have the inside for the next corner. Turner defends his position at the moment. Gutneck's gonna try one more side, looking to the outside. He's gonna give Gutneck the inside into the right-hander. And I believe Gutneck's gonna be able to take that position from Turner. Might be able to battle back, but no, he closes the door. Move Alex Gutneck up to 5th position, right behind his teammate, Weston Epps in 4th position. Epps is making a move. He moves up to 3rd. Matt Turner trying hard. This is a good battle for 5th position between Matt Turner and Alex Gutneck. Turner trying to maximize his points. Gets really loose in that braking zone. They're really close, almost touch. Gutneck gets back ahead. This battle's brought in Brandon Walker in the Kuda Evo car. He's right now on Matt Turner's bumper. Gets a little bit loose coming out of that corner, but what a start of the race we've had here. Caitlin Height pulling away almost a 2-second gap over Matt Stelflug. Danny O'Keefe coming up into the battle. He's in 8th in that Orion-powered machine. Trying to stick his nose in the battle. Very, very stacked group of field right here. Brandon Walker looks like he's going to try to make a move on Matt Turner. Is he just going to draft him? Or is he going to make a move into the braking area? Looks like he may stay in line. Not trying to get in the way. Going to leave him be, but that's really going to pull on Turner with that toe. So really needs to get kind of out of the way, but right now Guteneck is kind of falling a little further ahead of Turner at the moment. Schegeman making his way back up through the field, currently P10 now. 6 positions gained since his little spin, so hopefully he didn't get any damage and maybe he's going to be all right. We'll have to see, but that's definitely lost him a lot of time to the leaders. It looks like we got a driver off the track. That might have been O'Keefe. That's Danny O'Keefe off the track. Tough break for O'Keefe. He was running up in a good spot. And Matt Turner still not able to catch Guteneck and holding Brandon Walker up. Brandon Walker is on his tail as Cristiano Schegeman just puts in the fastest lap of the race to 1:32.490 on lap number 4. Have to expect that time's going to come down, possibly even into the 30s, depending on how much rubber we actually get into this racetrack and how much someone's really needing to push. But Brandon Walker really on Matt Turner, putting a lot of pressure. Turner trying to catch up to the Lumos drivers in front, and Brandon Walker's just waiting up. And eventually Brandon Walker's going to have to go because this is allowing Ollie Ricks and Cristiano Schegeman to catch up. Matthew Stelflug in the Kuda Works car is starting to feel a little bit of pressure from Weston Epps in the Lumos. This is a battle for the constructors. They need those points. Caitlin Height already almost 2.5 seconds out in front of these guys. Really showing some raw pace out of that RSR Esports car. Stelflug picking up the pace just a little bit, trying to keep Epps off, but that slipstream just helps so much with that Lumos car. He picked up 2/10 there, and now just lost that going through the turns. So maybe a little bit of a different aero package on these guys that might make a little bit of a difference where we're at. But Epps is just getting so much ground on the straightaways. Just tries to pull away, but Epps creeping slowly more and more. Matt Turner had an issue, not sure what happened there. Looks like we got another driver going off. That's Nick Marshall. Marshall coming back on track right in front of a bunch of drivers. Real tight squeeze up there, but Epps and Stelflug still battling, and that's bringing Frederick Larson in with the slipstream. Ooh, and the battles from behind. Larson trying to make a move on Epps on the high side. Not going to be able to get it done. But that's really going to put the pressure off of Stelflug there and start putting it on Epps, as Epps has to make a move over. And this is going to give Stelflug almost a second advantage over these guys. About a half a second there he gained with these two battling. So if he can hold on to it, they're still battling side by side. Epps makes a move back. This is Stelflug's time to get away from these two, get out of that slipstream time. And he's almost a second away, so that might save him there. But now we've got a battle for third heating up between Frederick Larson and Weston Epps. He goes off the edge of the track, holds the inside, and is going to defend one more time from Larson. Meanwhile, we got a really big battle here in the back of the pack, and it looks like we got a car around. Corey Schertzer around, got it back going straight. Couple drivers showing possibly out of the race at the moment, or at least in the pits. Have to follow that story. Stelflug has got himself over a second in front of Epps, and Larson still on his tail. So he might have dodged a bullet there for a moment. Caitlin Height, 2.6 seconds ahead of Stelflug, not really gaining too much on him, but these guys are definitely gaining a little bit, so they definitely have some pace, maybe even a little bit more. Cristiano Schegeman, and it looks like Brandon Walker's around, and he comes out and hits a Lumos car. That is a really tough break for that Lumos driver, and possibly a penalty for Brandon Walker. Very, very unsafe rejoin there. Almost caused a major incident, so luckily nothing really crazy happened other than a little bit of damage for a couple drivers. But as we sit right now, almost 7 laps complete right there as Caitlin Height crosses the finish line. 7 laps complete in the German Grand Prix. Caitlin Height in first, Matt Stelflug second, Weston Epps third, Frederick Larson in fourth, and Alex Gutnick currently in 5th position, as you see him just on the outside of the screen there in the other blue Lumos car. Watching the battle for P3 as it simmers down a little bit. And Julie Redmond all over Nick Marshall's tail. I believe she's going to get this position, moving up to 13th. I believe she may have had an issue on the start or gotten in some of the trouble. So Redmond trying to make her way back up to the front of the field. And Weston Epps, just like that, starting to reel in Stelflug once again. Stelflug doing everything he can, but Height just pulling away. 3 seconds the gap now between 1 and 2. Drivers going off track all over the place. Nothing safety car worthy on the track at the moment, but a lot of drivers really having a rough time keeping their car under control. As Stelflug is within 0.4 of a second of having Epps right on his tail. Weston Epps really has some raw pace today in that Lumos car, really trying to capitalize on the points. Might be even able to chase down Caitlin Height as Stelflug's kind of gained a little bit of ground trying to run, but here's the battle. Epps going to go to the outside, try to get the duck into the inside. Stelflug's going to have a great exit on that corner, but Once again, Epps gains so much ground on the straightaways that Stelflug's going to have to watch out. He breaks the slipstream there. And he goes way off track as Epps is going to go. I believe Stelflug got a slowdown penalty there. And that's going to move Epps out front. And is that going to give Larson a chance to go at Turner or Stelflug now? And it might. Them 1 or 2 second slowdown penalties really can kill you. As you see, Epps is about a second ahead of Stelflug now. Gonna really have to watch it and start reeling that time in. 25 laps to go here still in the German Grand Prix, so a lot of racing left to go. Matt Turner down in 8th position, trying to chase down Stuart Gibbons. There was a tough start for a lot of these drivers mid-pack. Not exactly sure what happened, but you see a lot of our fast drivers trying to come back through the back of the field. Matt Turner currently second in the drivers' points, trying to keep it that way. But Cristiano Schegemann, his rival there, is just in front of him a couple spots and a couple seconds ahead. So he really does need to get by Stuart Gibbons here and make some work on up to Cristiano Schegemann just ahead, as he's going to try to make a move to the outside. Leaves plenty of room on the inside. You can fit 3 more cars in there, and that's going to be a position for Turner. Move him up to 7th position. Schegemann still has the fastest lap with a 1:31.957. We have to imagine here in about 10 laps we should see 31s pretty regularly throughout half the field, and maybe even some 30s from our top drivers. Matthew Stelflug has lost the 2nd place position to Epps, and now Larson's still there. Hasn't been able to gap him at all. So still under pressure, but running in a good spot right now. Alex Gudenek being shown in the pits. So, not sure exactly what happened there. We have got a battle for 3rd position as Larson trying to make a move on Matt Stelflug. Stelflug battling back hard. He needs those points. Gonna try the crossover move. It's not gonna happen. Move Larson up to 3rd. And Stelflug just losing some time. Not having the greatest pace. I wonder if he may have damaged his floor or had something happen on the start of that race. I'm not exactly sure, but still got a little bit of a pace, but he just can't keep up with everybody else. As we see Larson already starting to close the gap to Epps again. So Larson definitely a good contender for the win today. We do have pit stops going to be coming up, whether they be yellow flag or not. We see Stelflug really stuck behind a lapped car right now. That's Luke Smith in the Turn 1 racing machine going a lap down. A little bit of a battle going on in the back here between Nick Marshall, Rory Collins, and Rodrigo Miranda. 3-way battle for 14th, 15th, and 16th. Big battle. Matt Turner trying to fend off a hungry Anthony Wallace. Something happened with Turner. Weston Epps hits the pit lane, but something happened with Matt Turner. He lost the spot to Stuart Gibbons, lost some time, and now Anthony Wallace is all over his tail. Weston Epps making his mandatory pit stop. He's going to be coming out. We've got a car sideways. Not sure who that was off the track, but not on the racing line. This battle between Wallace and Turner is bringing Ollie Ricks and Danny O'Keefe into the mix. You see Ricks got really close to these two as they were going through that last set of corners. And now they're starting to catch back up to Gibbons again, as you see Turner just must have made a mistake and had an off track or something happened to him. Because he's now starting to catch Gibbons once again. Big battle inside the top 10. Danny O'Keefe making some moves on Ollie Ricks. Ollie Ricks gonna hold off Danny O'Keefe after that hard push. I believe O'Keefe is gonna try it one more time. He's right there. Right behind these guys, we've got Julie Redmond and Weston Epps. Redmond trying to take the top 10 and get another point. And she does the double cut, cuts over. Is she gonna be able to take the spot? I think she does. Move Julie Redmond up to P10. What a battle. What battle's going on all over this racetrack right now? O'Keefe got a little bit of pressure from behind, trying to catch back up to Matt Turner, who's got a good distance out in front of him now, almost a second and a half. Anthony Wallace watching out from behind because Matt Turner is coming. Not sure, once again, not sure how Turner fell back so far. Must be having a real rough time with some stability on this car, going off track somewhere, because he's got a lot of good pace, but he just all of a sudden disappears another second behind the car he was just behind, with another car in front of him. So kind of interesting. We'll have to keep an eye on what Matt Turner is currently doing. But with 15 laps almost complete, Caitlin Height still our leader in the 55 RSR Esports, trying to seal the Constructors Championship. Goodworks needs to score 29 points more than Height in this race today, and the Lumos Academy needs to score 30 points more than RSR Esports in the race today. So a high order, but something that can be done. Just about to be halfway through this race in a lap or so, so we should be seeing some people really taking some pit stops as we see Matt Stelflug hitting the pits at the moment. So possible undercut situation, trying to go half and half on the fuel and your tires, just to give yourself a better, more stable load, because it is some fast turns around here, so we'll see. But Stelflug being the first of our leaders to take his pit stop, see if anybody else tries to match him and block off the undercut. And Redmond spins out right into Apps. Right in front of everybody. They get it back moving. Whoa, I can't believe we caught that on camera. Redmond just trying so hard. Just outbrakes herself just a little bit. Everybody keeps it held on. Redmond still being shown in 10th position. But wow, what was that? Matt Turner now in the middle of his sandwich. Finally got by Wallace once again, trying to catch up to Gibbons once again. Matt Turner having a really rough race today. Just kind of stuck in the middle, really having to push, getting pressure from the front and from the back all over the place. Hasn't really had much of a race to where you can just kind of let it air out and let things go. It looks like a lap car there kind of pushed him off the track just a little bit. Cristiano Schegemann in the pits for his pit stop, and he's going to come out behind Stelflug. And Caitlin Height still sitting with 0 off tracks, so getting that extra point for safety still on her board as well. Brings her total up to 26. Really making it hard for these drivers to knock down RSR Esports and to claim victory over both the constructors and the drivers' standings. Halfway through the race, and Turner and Stelflug trying to stop that. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I think if they can score P2 and P3, or maybe P2 and P4, they can snatch it from her. But they really need to be up there and really need to get both them Kuda Works cars on the podium. Stelflug, with his pit stop, is hoping that he can really push some times and them tires and get him a good finishing position and get a good undercut on all these drivers. Matt Turner going in with Gibbons. Kind of surprising. They're going to make their pit stop. That's 3rd and 4th place at the moment. That's going to give 3rd and 4th to Wallace and O'Keefe. Now, Turner is coming out of the pits, and I believe Cristiano Schegemann has pitted. So, it looks like the undercut from Cristiano Schegemann has worked. Because he did pit 2 laps ago, and he's now in front of Matt Turner. So, Schegemann really pushing his lap times right now. Hasn't improved the fastest lap of the race, but really is putting some times down. Currently back up to P8 after his incident at the beginning of the race. 25 more laps to go here in the German Grand Prix, and Caitlin Height, our leader, is in for her pit stop. Stelflug is going to be, I believe, our possible P2 here. He's got Julie Redmond all on his bumper. But as Caitlin Height comes out of the pits with more than enough time to get out in front of Stelflug. Julie Redmond on a hunt up to P5. And Matt Turner in a little bit of a battle with Danny O'Keefe. And Turner does the crossover. He's going to try to take the inside for the next corner. He's not going to have the drive out to do it. Going to try to stay right in the slipstream, try to get him in the braking zone. Makes the lunge. Matt Turner goes to the inside, makes it stick. Move Turner up to 8th. O'Keefe not going to let him go. Need to put the pedal down because Miranda's right there behind him in P10, trying to get aloft to that swift stream. And if that happens, he's going to get up in the mix with these two and possibly make it to where when one of them goes left, the other can go right, and that makes it really difficult going into the corner after a long, fast straight and a hard braking zone. Danny O'Keefe might try to make a move here. Turner he goes a little wide. And O'Keefe, Turner's going to take the defensive move to the inside. O'Keefe going to be just to his tail as they go through the corner. And O'Keefe, they may have touched. O'Keefe may have gotten some damage there. Not sure. Very, very close between O'Keefe and Turner. And now, like I said, there's Miranda. As we're about to go 3 wide. No, Miranda gets held off. And no, we are 3 wide. Miranda keeps it down the inside. Turner dips it down. We're still 3 wide as we go down the straight. O'Keefe gets out in front of Miranda and Turner. Very, very close racing. Caitlin Height back out front, 8.8 seconds over Frederick Larson. Anthony Wallace, and it looks like Julie Redmond in the pits. So they're getting their stuff out. We all cycled through. Weston Epps up to 3rd position for pitting on lap 12. So undercuts actually working here in the race today. We haven't seen them work too well in the IFL here over the season, but undercuts working well for drivers pitting a little bit earlier than the other drivers here. So we got Caitlin Height up in 1st, Frederick Larson in 2nd, Weston Epps 3rd, Matt Stelflug in 4th, and Cristiano Schegeman in 5th. Looking at the battle for 6th position between Miranda, Turner, and Wallace behind. O'Keefe's starting to pull away now, and Wallace starting to bring it in. Oh, Wallace goes off track just as he gets close behind Miranda. Matthew Stelflug. Looks like my timing might be messing up because it told me Stelflug was crashing, but he's doing a nice job. Currently running in P4, the top CUDA Works driver, Matt Turner, in 7th at the moment. If they were to finish this way, Caitlin Height and RSR Esports would take the Constructors Championship. So still work left to do for the CUDA drivers if they want to take that championship. Working very hard. Currently P4 and 7. Now the problem is that the Lumos drivers, I think, are out of it now. Even with Weston Epps up in 3rd, I believe the nearest driver is actually Alex Gutenek, who is being shown currently in 19th position, out of the points. So no two drivers scoring points there. Not going to be able to score over 30 points in order to beat Height. So I believe that the Lumos drivers are going to be staying fairly close to where they are unless we get some drivers taking over from below. But at the moment, Lumos staying in 3rd on the Constructor Standings, with Shigeman being off, and Matt Turner jumping some curb, really pushing it right now. Trying to get away, as Caitlin Height has done so. She's 9 seconds ahead of Frederick Larson, catching some lap traffic at the moment. Not a whole lot to do, just Sunday driving, not really shooting for the fastest lap. But if you look on the board, she's only a couple hundredths away from the fastest lap of the race. Shigetman earlier turned to 131.957, and Height's fastest lap is 131.988. So only 3 hundredths off. Not really too much. I believe if she really wanted to put the pedal down, she could take that lap at any moment. So we'll keep an eye on if she feels a little greedy and wants to jump up and steal that extra point or not. But as we get ready, we got only 10 laps to go once Height makes it to the stripe. Looks like we've got a little bit of a battle with Miranda trying to catch back up to Matt Turner. Getting within a second, starting to get a little bit of that slipstream. Isn't able to gain anything on the front straightaway. After all the pit stops cycle through, people starting to spread out just a little bit. Weston Epps slowly reeling in Frederick Larson. Only a 10th or so a lap. At the moment, I believe, if you are talking constructors, so the Lumos drivers were only 1 point below CUDA, and since Matt Turner is in 7th, that's really going to make it difficult. Epps is trying everything he can, doing a great job running P3 at the moment, sitting in a podium position with only 10 laps to go. It's really a bummer that his teammate wasn't able to make it get up there, because honestly the CUDA Works drivers just aren't having their best race. We see Turner down in 7th position right now. We've seen him win it up in the front, winning multiple races in a row. So Turner just not having the pace that we're used to him seeing, and that's really shown in the last race here. as Caitlin Height is 9 seconds out in front of Larson and Epps, and then another 6 seconds back to Matt Selflug in 4th position, who's actually having one of his better drives this season. Very clean, had some good battles early on in the race, and now he's just cruising, trying to chase down Epps and Larson. Current battle between Guteneck and Smith for 18th position. Guteneck gets it. Now he's got quite a bit of time up to Corey Schartzer, 16.6 seconds to try to take on that 17th position. A little bit of a ways to go. Tough break for that Lumos driver. He's always got some serious pace. From Wallace there, bouncing around all over in that first corner. Really makes you nervous when you know you're under 10 laps to go at the single digits. Julie Redmond in 9th, trying to chase him down. 1.2 seconds the gap now. So definitely closing in on Anthony Wallace. Can Wallace hold her off? Trying to catch up to Matt Turner, but he's way ahead. And Wallace had a big slip there. Is Julie gonna get him on the straight? Redmond doesn't gain too much time, maybe half a tenth. Wallace really trying to put the hammer down now. He does have some time up to Turner, but if one of these guys makes a mistake, he can pounce on it. Not too many spaces off the podium and still in a decent point spot. I believe all of our drivers have pitted except Rory Collins. Did not see the pit time for Collins. Currently running 15th. Redmond trying to work on Wallace. And just in front, Matt Turner trying to work on Danny O'Keefe once again for 6th position. Needing all the points he can get. Redmond getting really close to Wallace, within a half a second there at the start-finish line. 5 more laps to go here in the German Grand Prix at the Hockenheimring. Height leads Larson, Epps, Stelflug, and Schegetman. Currently watching the battle for 8th position between Julie Redmond and Anthony Wallace. Still have, I believe, 19 or 20 drivers of our 25 on racetrack right now. And the Cuda Evo drivers starting to steal the spotlight. Both of them starting to get into battles right in front of the other. And Julie Redmond's getting really close to Anthony Wallace. Wallace gained so much time, 0.3 of a second on Redmond there through that first corner. Redmond gonna have to use the rest of the track to gain it all back. Height now 10 seconds, the gap over Larson in second, Epps in third. Redmond very, very close to Wallace now. With only a few laps to go, these are the times where Redmond's had most of her mistakes. So she is definitely going to want to be more careful and more cautious, but definitely wants to pick up another spot or two if possible. Just can't make sure the car is overdriven. It looks like might make a lunge. Thought better of it through the final corner. Going to try to get the run down the front straight. No DRS with these cars, but they've got a lot of wing that puts a lot of hole in the air, and she just didn't use it as much as she probably could. As she gains another couple seconds through that first corner. Caitlin Height, there it is, puts down the fastest lap of the race with a 1:31.844. 1/10 fastest, or faster than Larson there. And 1/10 faster than Schegetman. So very, very close times, but I said it earlier in this race, I bet Height has the pace to put it down and take that lap when she needs to, and she did just that with only 3 minutes left in the race. And Anthony Wallace spins out in front of Julie Redmond, and then he gets into another car in the middle of the track, and that car's spinning. I think this is going to be our safety car, and I believe it is going to be our safety car. And no, it's not. I guess we're not going to be able to have that safety car, but yeah, tough break for those drivers. Tough break. We'll have to go back after the race and see what all was collected there. Matt Stelflug's still there. Turner in 7th, trying to do what they can for Caitlin Height, but she's doing everything right. Let's take a ride along with our F3 champ. When she gets the 2 to go signal, 2 more laps. She's got 11 seconds over Larson in 2nd place. So smooth, so focused. No mistakes at all the entire race. I believe she's got 1 off track. And I don't believe anybody else has had a perfectly clean race. So with that being said, I believe that's still going to give her the fastest lap and cleanest points. And with the white flag out, 1 more lap to go here in Germany. Caitlin Height has just over 3 miles to seal the deal. As Frederick Larson takes the fastest lap with the white flag to go. Just a few tenths faster than Caitlin Height. So that's going to take 1 point away from her. Looks like a small battle going on back there for 15th position between Buddy Boggs and Corey Schartzer. But out front, Caitlin Height. Half a lap left to go. And as she gets ready to come around the final few corners, she's going to realize that not only did she seal 2 weeks ago the driver's standings, but as she rounds the final corners, Caitlin Height is going to seal the deal and take home the IFL 3 Constructors Championship as well for RSR Esports. Caitlin Height wins in Germany. Frederick Larson, in his IFL debut, does a great job coming home 2nd place on the podium. And Weston Epps, putting on a spectacular performance for Lumos eMotorsports, comes home in 3rd. Matthew Stelflug putting on another great show for him as well, comes home in 4th place, with, I believe, Cristiano Schegetman coming home in 5th. What a drive. Danny O'Keefe is going to take home 6th, and Matt Turner, with a hard drive, going to come home 7th. Not enough to take the constructors. I don't think it is possible. I'd have to look at the points, but I'm pretty sure they did not score enough points to be able to get that 29 crucial points Now, yeah, 30 crucial points with Height's fastest. So really tough break for those guys. Might have just barely squeaked it, but we will have to see a minute. But wow, what a drive for Kuda Works, RSR Esports, Lumo Esports, Turning Point, all of our amazing teams that showed up for our 18 race season, and there it is in the books. What a drive for these drivers, all taking a victory lap together. All the tension, all the stress, all the pressure of racing is all gone, and we move to the off season and winter testing with new drivers, new teams, a new schedule, and a big season ahead. Wow, Larson steals the fastest point, their fastest lap point on the last lap, coming to the white flag. What a show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look at what actually transpired here. Wow, Caitlin Height taking home the win, and Frederick Larson looks like he might have had a penalty, and that's going to put him down to P4. Cristiano Schegetman moves up to P2, and Matt Stauflug moves up to P3. Oh, those are the qualifying results. I was going to say, what in the world happened there? Sorry about that, folks. There we go. There's the race results. I thought there was a penalty or something there. But Frederick Larson does hold on to the second with Weston Epps in third. Matt Stauflug, Danny O'Keefe. It looks like someone, Schegeman had a penalty or something, maybe a drive-through. Currently fell down to 8th from 4th, so that's going to move Matt Turner up to 6th position, which might just be enough, with Stauflug and Turner moving up both the spot with 4th and 6th place position. That might just be enough to hit the 30 points they needed to take Caitlin Height out of the top spot. We'll have to take a look and see if we can find some drivers here for interviews. What a drive we had there today. And I'm not seeing any of our podium drivers out there. But I think for a quick second here, we're going to do a little bit of calculation and try to see exactly who actually took that Constructors Championship. So 4th and 6th is only 20 points. So definitely not going to be able to do it with her winning this race this afternoon. So she is going to take that Constructor Standings, but a very, very great great try by the CUDA drivers. And yeah, like I said, I don't really see any of our drivers here on the podium here for interviews. So I guess that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Season 2 for the IFL is in the books. The IFL F2 drivers finished up their season yesterday afternoon with a spectacular finish, and Lewis Archer coming home the F2 champion. Congratulations to Lewis Archer. Congratulations to Caitlin Height and RSR Esports sweeping the IFL F3 for the Drivers and Constructors Championship. Very, very impressive for a single car team. So big congratulations goes out to them. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We go into our winter testing and off season. We will be back in February with the IFL F2 and F3 Season 3. So make sure you stick around, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can make sure you get some updates on whatever comes, because you are not going to want to miss Season 3 of the IFL. For everybody here, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Butt Kicker, Mazur's Garage, GTR Graphics. You guys are a big, amazing help. We really couldn't do it without you guys, so we really do appreciate it. LTD Designs, everybody that's here. I know we've got more people that are going to be coming on. We've got some awesome people that are going to partner up with us, and we can't wait to announce all that. But from everybody here, y'all have a great winter, stay safe, and we will see you in the spring for Season 3.